Remember when you were a kid and you asked your parents, "Where do I come from?" You probably heard something about a storage delivery, but later in your biology class, you learned that we come when two cells combine and form one cell. Now, the bigger question is, how does one cell become me? How does one cell become a baby? And then how does a baby become an adult that, according to current research, has around 37 trillion cells? And if you have too many cells or too little of them, you do have a problem. You must now be wondering, wow, it must be hard to maintain this number of cells. And you are absolutely right. So cells have basically a rate of cell division, and they can dictate how fast they divide by just spending a certain amount of time to physically get something done. For example, after the cell replicates its DNA, it has to split it equally. Imagine the DNA as a ball of colorful yarn. If I really want to divide a cell super fast and I come right in the middle and split, I will have no idea what I'm getting on each side. Instead, the cell takes its time to thread the DNA into different balls of different colors, so that later when it divides, each daughter cell doesn't get more than one copy of each color. So the same way that you might need 5 hours to knit a sweater, cells spend different amount of time in different processes, and then you have a time frame in which it undergoes one cycle and becomes two. So here's another question for you. Why do things take the time that they do? In order to answer this, we really have to look at the mechanics, right? So with the ball of yarn, how does the cell make of our DNA separate entities? Now, this is a super hard question to answer because this whole thing happens in only 15 minutes, and studying that feels like running in a marathon. So what I do in my PhD is I spend my time in the lab drugging cells and playing with the timing of different cell cycle processes. And what I could discover so far is that with one drug inhibiting one protein, I can prolong these 15 minutes into 17 hours instead. Granted, this does sound unhealthy, but we finally have the chance to really know how does the cell do this. So you can take it like this. My research in a nutshell, I make a cell on a marathon, take a Sunday walk instead.
Monica, Gobran, thank you so much.